Okay, y'all. Good morning, good morning. It's Sunday morning. It's 9 o'clock. I'm taking the brush cutter, like I told you guys, over here to this job. I need to go on and wrap this job up as far as what my contract is over there. And I may do a little bit of extra stuff because, well, they're my regular customer and they're spending pretty good money. And I gotta have the brush cutter over there anyway. So how much more effort would it be for me to grind down a few saplings that I feel like are in the way or whatever. But as far as the, well, yeah, there's a lot of work over there, and to get it back in order is going to be a lot of work. There's a lot of things that I'm not going to be able to do and stay in the scope of the money. The biggest thing to me was, getting everything cleared off the pond bank and getting all the trees down and grind it up. Now, from that point on, it's well, the impact that the machine has on the ground is a big deal. There's pavers down through there and stuff like that. That they said they didn't, they knew the machine was going to tear them all up and all that. Not high dollar pavers or nothing, just flat rock, really. So my goal today is to try to, all I really am trying to do is get that area where I ground all the stumps out somewhat smooth, and then you got to let Mother Nature do its thing. So you're not gonna, now if we were spending $10,000, we'd bring dirt in there, sand in there, and we could overcome anything. But that's not what we're doing. The main thing was to get those trees down and to grind all the stumps. That was the job, and to get the pond bank clear and to load the dumpster, of course. And we have, added a few things here and there on to the job, so the number got a little more friendly and a little more friendly. Considering I'm already there. And I would probably have done those things even if they hadn't paid me. Well, I wouldn't have removed that last big tree. But what a difference, man, So a couple guys were coming in the comments, and I just kind of wanted to explain, we know a chipper over there would have been a good tool to have, right? But not worthy, considering you got a dumpster, if you ask me, on that little job. I mean, at the end of the day, you got to look at what you're charging, and you got to look at what it would cost to get a chipper out there. And the chippers in my area, I don't know where they're $450 to $550 a day. You might be able to get a deal over the weekend, and I'm talking about for the 12-inch. The 8-inch one, you might be able to get one for $400, $380 or something a day. But usually on jobs like this, where you're right at the line of everything as far as being able to dispose of the debris, well, you usually have one or the other. You either have a chipper or a dumpster. Rarely do I do jobs and it has both of them. Now sometimes, but not normally. Because a dumpster costs about as much as a chipper. So you gotta, now the dumpster that they got out there, I didn't have nothing to do with that. They paid for that and had it on the job. Now, if a customer would do the same thing with a chipper, not this customer, but any customer would do the same thing with the chipper, then I'd much rather do it like that. Have the chipper on site. Because the thing about renting equipment, if you ask me, is you got to go rent it, and you got to go get it, and that requires a truck, and that requires you to take it back. That requires a truck without a trailer. I mean, so you got to look at overall the bigger picture, such as, okay, you rent the chipper over the weekend, and then you got to have it back Monday morning, right? And I've done it 100 times, and it's a pain in the butt, because number one, if you're doing lawns, then you're pulling a trailer around wherever you go doing the lawns, and then bam, now you got this skid steer job, well, you got to come home, you got to unload the lawnmowers, you got to hook to the equipment trailer, you got to load the skid steer, you got to lock it down, you got to get it over to the job. And then from that point, you got to go, well, now you got to unhook the trailer, drop the trailer at the job, and you got to run another 30 minutes to go one way to go get the chipper. And then you got to go through all the red tape to get it. And then you got to, go down there to the yard, and you got to hook up to it. And then you got to hope that it's a good one and not one that's going to break down on you. And meanwhile, you got a dumpster sitting there empty, and and here I am, messing with a chipper for an hour, trying to get it to the job. And then don't let nothing go wrong with the chipper. I mean, it has happened before where things get hung up in it and all that. So a chipper and a dumpster at the same time, not on a job this small, or a job where you have big tree trunks. If we were just trimming a bunch of branches and stuff like that, then yeah, a chipper's the best tool. I wouldn't have told them to get a dumpster. The dumpster is for pushing weight, man, and getting it actually out of your way. Now, we already, grinding the stumps down, we already have a problem with chips, right, and dirt. Y'all see how it is going down, from 60 foot from the pond bank up into the backyard. Y'all already see how the ground is terrible, and that's from the grinder grinding everything and mixing the dirt with the chips and blah blah blah. So a chipper's not gonna, a chipper's just gonna add to that. Now, I understand that if I had a chipper out there, I would shoot everything into the woods, right, and spread it around in the woods with the chute. Shoot it here for 5 or 10 minutes, and then shoot it here, and then shoot it here, and then kind of just just steady rotating the chute on the chipper. But and that might have been faster if we didn't have all the trunks. If you got all those trunks, well, you start sticking them big trunks in a chipper, even though they say it's a 12-inch chipper, you start sticking them 12-inch pieces in that chipper, you might start having some problems with the chipper, because the chippers are usually not well, they're not new, and they're yeah. So that's been the thinking on, and I might not have explained that in any of the videos leading up to this whole job, but I've kind of just been filling in with it, doing other, running errands and stuff in the behind the scenes, then going over here for a few hours. As long as I don't have to haul the machine back and forth every day, then it doesn't matter how long I spend over there. It's just about the job and the overall payday of the job. Another reason why I don't like working by the hour. So if I work by the hour, then what would happen yesterday when I spent an hour and a half or an hour and 20 minutes, whatever, fooling with the attachment? I'm charging the customer for that, and they're not going to like that. Well, you can't charge them for that, Ray. And then that in itself makes it more complicated. See, because I'll say, I spent an hour on it, and they'll say, oh no, it was about an hour and 45 minutes. And then you don't want to, to me, that hourly crap just is not good, man. And it's just another reason why I don't like doing it by the hour. This way, I'm in control of everything. If the weather gets in the way, then I can go over there as the weather permits. Now, if it's costing me more money, such as having to haul the machine back and forth and all that, well, now that's, you want to try to minimize your trips, right? So the skid steer has been over there. Well, it rained for one day, so one day I didn't even go over there. But it's not far from my house, so that has a an effect too. But basically, the goal for today is to try to smooth these chips out best I can, grind a few things down, and I'm going to use the grinder to spread the chips around, to shoot them up into the woods and everything, man. I'm going to try to, make that area where it's not so, you know, it's got this much loose soil / chips, you know, all the way throughout it. So when you're even just walking through it, it's hard, because it's hard to get it smooth too. The chips don't want to grade like dirt, you know. And I need to get this job to a point where this week we can come and do the yard and maybe pick up a few sticks while we're there and that kind of thing. So that's the goal anyway. Now, yeah, the goal can change. Now, I have not looked anymore at the stump grinder, you know, fitting or whatever. I just know that the fitting that I put on here, that the brush cutter uses, I slid it on there. It went right on there, and then I backed it. I ran it for a second at my house, just, you know, just sitting idle, and let the pressure build up, and then I got out of the machine, and I was able to pop both the fittings off with, you know, one hand. So that tells me it's not the machine fitting, it's the fitting on the stump grinder. Now, I know there's a couple guys saying you can take the fitting apart and all that. Well, maybe I will, but I just bought that fitting. That fitting is not, I mean, that fitting ain't even 10 days old. I haven't even used that. This was the first job that I've used that new fitting on. And y'all saw how much grinding I did. No, I take it back. I used that fitting on when I did those stumps in my neighborhood for my neighbor. That was the first job. Okay, y'all, so I just want to show y'all exactly what's going on here and what my plan is. I just talked to the owner, and they're super stoked about everything. So everything over here looks really good. He said if I left it like this, he said he'd be perfectly happy. So, but that ain't how we roll. No, we're not going to leave it like this, because that's an impossible task for somebody to take care of. So what I'm going to do is, I got the brush cutter, y'all see it. I'm thinking to go in here and just raise hell. I'm going to go down and back up, go down and back up. And some of the bigger stuff I'll push out of the way. But that's the goal, is to get this area a little bit, well, a lot smoother. Now, I don't know what kind of footage I can get with that sun coming. One thing I'm going to pull out that right there. But yeah, I'm going to try to put you guys somewhere where y'all can kind of see, but I don't know. See, see right here is going to be, yeah, see, I need to, and they know that he even told me, he said, we're going to have to bring some dirt in here, I know, and they probably are. But you know, you don't have to do all that right now. You just want to try to, one thing at a time, so it doesn't kill your pocket. I need a guy in here to pick up sticks for another hour or so, but I don't have that, so I'm gonna, yeah, there's a lot of sticks and stuff, so it really is. But they're really happy with everything, so that's what's important, right? You know, and I know it's a good job, because I take pride in trying to make sure. Biggest thing when you're doing stuff like this is you don't want to leave them a mess they can't deal with, right? That's what you don't want to do. And this is something that's a little bit big for a homeowner to be dealing with rakes and shit, you know. By law, what I really need to do is put the bucket on and pick up some of this stuff, but we'll do that later. We're going to go on and see what this cutter will do in here. So time lapse coming, y'all. Okay, y'all, so it did just what I thought it would do. Look how smooth it is now. You can walk in here and stuff now. The owner's coming out here, and we're going to try to get some of this stuff. He went and got some kind of grapple hook or something to grab a hold of that stuff. Yeah. I didn't want to put the grapple bucket on until we actually until I was done with the cutter. But I'm still not really done with the cutter. But I'm probably gonna have to hook it back up anyway. Don't this look a lot nicer now? See, the cutter, we know it'll cut stuff, but it'll do a lot of other stuff too. It'll fill in every freaking little gap. This is nice here. You could actually seed and straw this if you wanted to. Sure could. But yeah. Y'all see it, man. Looking good, looking good. Okay, y'all, so we're gonna try to grind all this up right here. Yeah. Okay, y'all, so that's a wrap on this job. Looking pretty good. I did a few little extra things. I got a ranch right there. I mulched up all the stuff they had right there. It's not perfect, but these jobs never are. You're always going to be finding stuff, you know. But dude, they love it. Now, I know a couple of you guys in the comments were talking about, well, y'all were talking about putting sand down here. Well, the thing about, I mean, a little bit of sand, maybe for a little area, but I wouldn't put a lot of sand down here. Well, what ends up happening with sand is, well, we got to be able to maintain it. And if you cover all this with sand, you know, then how we're going to maintain it? Very difficult to maintain. We need grass here. That's what we need. You know, y'all know I cut the lawn over here as well. So this is a beautiful thing, man. This is a beautiful thing here. Let me go up here where I can make sure I get all the coverage. I'll get my cooler. I got my chain. Yeah, y'all. Looking real good. They're super happy about it too. I don't blame them, man. It is nice. I pulled up this bush right here. Now the owner got out here and he went in the water and got all that stuff out of the water. You know, I pulled a bush out right there. Dude, I love it, man. So now they can do whatever they want to do, right? And this is the after. So next year, they're going to have me come. We're going to trim all these trees down through here. I'll probably bring them. Oh, I don't even know if I can bring the man lift over here. Man lift probably won't even get that. But by then, I'll probably done got me another extension for the pole saw. I know Steele's got a new pole saw. Not a new, but one with a, and Milwaukee does too. But I'm loving it, man. You know, this is one of the better jobs I'm learning. I'm learning. You know, every job I do, I learn a little bit more about what to do, what equipment to use. You know, who would ever thought the brush cutter would do this? Y'all saw how it looked. There's no way I could get it to do that with the bucket, because it would clump all up. See, so now what they're going to do is they're going to let nature do its thing. I even got a half a bag of grass seed I'll give them whenever they get ready. I'll be over here this week to do the lawn, but that cutter right there, y'all, that's a bad boy. That's a bad boy. So yeah, man, this is very nice. Very, very, very nice. Not perfect by no means, but a machine like this is not a detailed machine. You know, machine like this with that kind of attachment on it, you're not looking for detail. You're pushing weight. So now we just need to let nature do its thing. But look, it's all opened up now. That anything will grow in here. All the stumps are gone. Everything. It looks so good, man. And you know, this is what you do it for right here, y'all. Jobs like this is what you do it for. You know, I mean, we got to make a living. We know that, but I'm just saying that jobs like this make it where I don't. And the weather, I don't mind doing. And the customer can't be too picky, and they're not. They're like, dude, unbelievable. And so yeah, man, they've already paid, so I'm stoked about this job and another job that I got done. Never done nothing like this before, and you know, I didn't know that bringing this brush cutter over here would do that good. I thought it would help, but it did really good. We need rain on this ground here so it'll compact a little bit. But whenever they get ready to do grass, you know, after it sits here for about, you know, a couple of months, and yeah, the ducks love it too. They was all in here. I don't know what they were eating, man. But yeah, man, so building relationships, doing what you say, and this will lead to more work. I guarantee you I'll get some more work. I wouldn't be surprised if I don't get some work from some of the other people on this pond. There, I mean, look at the bank of this pond. And look at this. Theirs is going to be the nicest of them all. And they didn't spend a fortune. They spent good money, but, you know, I might get some more calls over here. You just never know. But anyway, y'all know what it is, man. Finna go watch the Falcons whoop up on Denver. Deuces!